Not really sure if you can see it here or not, but we've got an issue with our number 2 pin is off the spot. Looks about like a ½ inch. See if I can line you up here. Yeah, it's hard to notice, but the number 2 pin is off. We need to slide it over. We're going to move it actually to the left, to the 7 pin side by that ½ inch. Get you set up. I'm going to go ahead and drop the table down like I'm trying to set the pins flat on the deck as far down as it'll go, and then we'll slide this over and adjust it. Alright, I thought I'd bring you over and just show you how much off a spot it is. You can see right down there. You can see where it's supposed to be setting. So we're off about by a ½ inch off of the spot. Probably about the distance that clip is spaced from that bracket. That's usually what I use to adjust what I've got to move. If I know I got to move it a ½ inch, I'll move this bracket. Get some light on it. I'll move that bracket itself right there. I'll move it over about whatever space I need to move the housing. It can slide. It actually holds the channel in the back for the wires. So I'd push it over. It needs to be about a ½ inch, I'd say, just to get it way closer within tolerances of what it is. Alright, so we're going to work from there. First thing I got to do is I got to get the pin detector plate off. Go ahead and grab it with some pliers here, these pins. Pull out. Get that detector plate out of there. Pin out. Get a 10mm socket and ratchet. Just going to loosen these up from the front. Get some of these other pins out of my way. Put my hand down. All I got to do is loosen them enough to move it over. So be careful not to drop there's a mesh piece of wire screen behind this securing plate. It helps to keep this from sliding, the housing. I like to just tap it. Just gotta bring it loose a little more. There's a bolt head in the back, but I was holding it with my hand. Don't really need a wrench to do that, okay? So now it's moving and sliding over. I'm going to put it over to where it meets that plastic catch. We're just going to tighten it back down in position. I just got my finger on the back side holding the bolt. You want it tight. These are tightening real good, but you don't want it so tight that you're going to crush the housing of the actual pin holder itself. The bolts are not spinning on the back side, at least not in this instance. You also might find it useful in this situation to have an extension. Just to save me the little micro turns. There we go. Alright, I have got one free spinning on the back, so I've got a 10mm wrench, which is going to work on the back side. Take you around and show you that. Should be able to. Should be able to see on the back side here. I just put the wrench on that one in that position so I can tighten it down. All these others tightened by hand real good. Didn't spin. They had some bite to them. Alright, so now that I got that moved all back over, I'm going to go ahead and run it once. Wow. In my opinion, I think I can see it still looks. No, it might be. Let me use something a little straighter. Closest, quickest thing I got to a plumb bob. I'm going to take some of my extensions. Hope you can see this. I'm just going to free hang my extensions down through the middle. Putting it on the center. I'm lining it up just with the center of this switch that goes to the detector plate and the pin holder switch to let it know there's a pin in there or a pin underneath the holder itself, the detector plate. Yeah, it looks pretty centered up. Way better than what it was. Get all my tools out of the way. Now I can get this detector plate back on. Remember, when you put the detector plate back on, let me show you this other side. You want to get the detector plate behind that bar right there that's welded to the table. So it's going to be on the inside of that, not on the outside. That's wrong. So you want to go on the inside. And I'll go ahead and push my pins back in. Get this all centered up. There you go. Now you know it can be done one-handed. Got the plate back on. We're going to go ahead and run it one time and just see if it sets a lot better in the right position. Looks a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and shut the machine off and put it in the pin light. Looks like it's about an 1/8 off. That is within the tolerances. 8 off on the spot. Should think I'm quite pleased with it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I don't need to really belly crawl under there. Alright, and that's just how you move it from left to right, not front to back on a pin spot.